No alien could wear it. Then a human touched the armor and everything changed. The artifact had stood in the gallery of impossibilities for 3,000 cycles, silent and inscrutable. Xenoarchaeologist Dr. Varric 7, whose crystalline form refracted the pale blue light of the museum, had studied it for most of his career. The armor, if indeed it was armor, remained the greatest mystery of the precursor civilization that had vanished eons before the first spacefaring races emerged. It resembled a suit designed for a bipedal creature, roughly 2 meters tall, with appendages that suggested bilateral symmetry. The material defied analysis. Every scanner in the Galactic Consortium's arsenal had been deployed against it: quantum resonators, temporal disruptors, even the forbidden dark matter probes. The armor simply absorbed every test, revealing nothing. 23 species had attempted to wear it. The Zorgothi, with their shape-shifting physiology, had tried to flow into its form. The Mechanical Collective had sent their most advanced android. The psionic masters of Andromeda Prime had attempted to interface with it telepathically. Each attempt ended the same way: violent rejection. The armor would pulse with a crimson light, and whatever being dared approach would be thrown backward with tremendous force. Commander Varric 7 was conducting his routine morning inspection when the human delegation arrived. Humans were a recent addition to the galactic community, having achieved faster-than-light travel only 50 cycles prior. They were considered primitive by most standards, biological, short-lived, prone to emotional instability. Yet they had somehow impressed the consortium enough to earn junior membership status. The human in charge was Dr. Sarah Chen, an exoarchaeologist from Earth. Varric 7 felt a pang of professional kinship despite himself. She approached the armor with appropriate reverence, her dark eyes scanning every detail. "The precursor armor," she said softly. "I've read every report. Permission to attempt a closer examination?" Varric 7's form shimmered with what passed for amusement among his kind. "Dr. Chen, 23 species have tried. Some possessed abilities your kind cannot imagine. All failed. What makes you think?" "I don't think anything, Commander. I just want to look." Her humility was unusual. Most species approached the armor with arrogance, certain their unique biology or technology would succeed where others had failed. Varric 7 gestured his permission. Dr. Chen circled the armor slowly, occasionally making notes on her handheld device. She studied the seams, the joints, the strange symbols etched into the chestplate. After nearly an hour, she stopped directly in front of it. "May I touch it?" she asked. Varric 7 stiffened. "Dr. Chen, I must warn you that physical contact has resulted in severe kinetic repulsion, sometimes fracturing exoskeletons or damaging cybernetic systems." "I know. I'll be careful." Before he could protest further, she reached out and placed her bare hand against the armor's chestplate. Nothing happened. Varric 7's entire form flickered in shock. In 3 millennia, not a single being had touched the armor without triggering its defensive response. Dr. Chen's hand remained on the surface, her expression focused. "It's warm," she whispered. "And it's humming? Like a subsonic vibration." Then the symbols began to glow. Not the hostile crimson that signaled rejection, but a soft, golden luminescence that spread across the armor's surface like dawn breaking over a dark planet. The light concentrated around Dr. Chen's hand, then traveled up her arm in delicate, intricate patterns that matched her vascular system. "Dr. Chen, remove your hand immediately," Varric 7 commanded, but she couldn't. The light had enveloped her completely now, and the armor began to open. Seams appeared where none had existed. Plates shifted with mechanical precision, unfolding like an origami flower. The armor separated into 2 halves, creating an empty space within a space perfectly sized for a human body. "Impossible," Varric 7 breathed, though he had no lungs. Dr. Chen stood transfixed, her scientific curiosity warring with self-preservation. The armor pulsed gently, almost invitingly. Around the gallery, automated security systems activated, sensing the unprecedented change. Within moments, a dozen consortium guards materialized. "Stand down," Varric 7 ordered.
No hostile intent detected. Record everything.
Dr. Chen turned to him, her face pale but determined.
Commander, I think this armor was made for humans. Or beings like us. The precursors, what if they were human? Preposterous. Humans evolved on Earth.
The precursors disappeared millions of your years before your species developed agriculture.
Then what if it's the other way around?
Her voice grew stronger, more confident.
What if humans didn't originate on Earth? What if we're descendants of the precursors, devolved over millions of years, and this armor recognizes us? The implications were staggering. The precursors had possessed technology that made the Galactic Consortium look primitive.
They had built structures that spanned galaxies, created weapons that could unmake stars.
If humans were their descendants.
There's only one way to know for certain, Dr. Chen said.
She stepped into the armor.
The plates closed around her with a sound like thunder and silk combined.
Light exploded through the gallery, forcing even Varric 7 to dim his photoreceptors.
When the brilliance faded, Dr. Sarah Chen stood transformed. The armor had sealed perfectly to her form, but it was no longer inert metal.
It lived. It moved with her like a second skin.
The symbols glowed steadily now, and data streams visible only to quantum sensors erupted from the suit, interfacing with every system in the gallery. Systems online, Dr. Chen said, but her voice had changed, layered with harmonics that suggested. The armor was amplifying or translating her speech.
Neural link established. Accessing precursor database.
Her eyes widened behind the armor's transparent faceplate.
Oh my God, she whispered. Commander, you need to see this. We weren't wrong, humans are the precursors. We seeded Earth 5 million years ago as a backup. A genetic arc.
We knew our civilization was ending, so we created a fail-safe. We made ourselves small, weak, short-lived so we could survive and eventually reclaim what we lost.
Varric 7 processed this information rapidly. Then this armor. It's an inheritance. A key. And there are others. Scattered across the galaxy, waiting.
Dr. Chen looked at her armored hands with wonder and fear.
Commander, humanity just woke up. And we have so much to remember.
The armor's glow intensified, and somewhere in the depths of space, ancient machines began to stir, responding to a signal they had awaited for 5 million years. Everything had changed.